Hello everyone, this is Ankit Sharma and you are watching Bharat EV Talks, a podcast series by All India EV. And in the fourth episode, we have Pragya from Vegh Automobiles. Hello Pragya, thanks for giving your time.
Hi, Ankit. Thank you so much for inviting me to this podcast.
So, can you take us to the journey of the Vegh, how this Vegh got conceptualized, how this idea came and how you came into the picture, how you get connected, how you started the Vegh, what's the journey of the Vegh?
So, I guess all of the startups just start somewhere without much of the work because the work which are done in papers and Excel just stay there and never convert actually into a company. So,
Yes.
I'm a mechanical engineer. I've worked with many automobile companies and primarily with Ashok Leyland in different startups in Ashok Leyland.
Mhm.
Building a startup there. So my interest has always been inclined towards building something new in automobiles. I don't like the traditional businesses where we're just doing things. So that is when, after 3.5 years of my full-time journey with Ashok Leyland, I met Mr. Sumit Gupta in a family function and we
Okay.
discussed a lot of things in the transportation business and other segments. And in that particular party, we came to a conclusion that let's do something in EV. We were not sure what to do, but we said let's do something. And the same day, I resigned from my job, and we said let's start something. And I came to Bhatinda, and then we decided that the Indian automobile market is dominated by two wheelers. We see approximately 90% of the households run on the two wheeler. And
Of
being in
course.
a tier two city like Bhatinda, we said there are many options in tier one. You have cabs and everything, but still electrification is not done here. And in Delhi, NCR, or maybe metro cities, that 100 rupee note of petrol is an easier task to give. But here in the middle class segment, we see people saying that हर दिन 100 रुपए का पेट्रोल चला जाता है आजकल पता ही नहीं चलता.
Of
That
course.
was the time. So we
Of course.
thought, why not bring electric two wheelers, especially in the true Bharat, where the true Bharat lives in, that is the tier two, tier three segment. So that is where we formed the journey of Vegh. Vegh is again a Sanskrit word. We have always been connected to our roots in terms of product, services, as well as our name. Vegh is a Sanskrit word which means acceleration. So it connected to EV and definitely how we wanted our company growth to be. So hence we kept the name Vegh. We also started the initial bookings at a Shagun ka mount called 101.
That I
हमारे यहाँ
remember.
have that tradition. So we got a
Yeah.
lot of traction in that. So whatever we try to do, we try to build, try to stay connected to the roots today. And that is how Wake was found and it's here what it is now.
Yeah, that's really great. Not just the name and your the booking amount. It created. First of all, no one else does in that the way. It's like no one else think in that way. So I mean, for someone outside of this industry, it's like out of a box thinking. But
Correct.
someone who is connected to the industry and you being connected to the industry and you're connected to the roots, it's really nice to see how you have placed that particular strategies. That is the best part. May I know what sort of product you guys have launched? Because I know you have launched a product for B2B segment by the
Correct.
name of Drive EV. So, what all other products you have? And one more thing, I remember in one of the exhibitions, one of the union minister asked how it's a family ki gadi. I was
Yes.
there. Yeah.
Yes. So we had caught the eyes of the ministry itself, and that was the only stall where Mr. Piyush Goyal asked,
Yes.
like, how this is. He caught his eyes and said, "How this is family wali gadi." So again, as I
Yes.
said, we being in a tier two, having a plant set up in that kind of a city, we always had in mind to make the products for these particular true Indians living there.
Hmm.
So when we say family वाली गाड़ी, we say कि इन शहरों में ना usually they cannot afford two or three vehicles. They can
Of
afford
course.
only one vehicle. बेटी
Hmm.
है, पापा हैं, बच्चे हैं, मम्मी है, वो सब उसी व्हीकल पे वो एप्लीकेशन के लिए यूज हो रहा है, वॉट एवर द एप्लीकेशन इज. Hence we say
Yes.
one product for all uses, that is family वाली गाड़ी. So what we
Hmm.
do is we study the requirements of these markets and then
Hmm.
build our products. For example, our first products were Vegh L25 and Vegh S25. Vegh
Hmm.
L25 is still our best selling product. That gave them affordable range, ease of charging, and very easy to handle design, which can be used by everyone. And it attracted a lot of young population there. Young
Okay.
population who had to commute 5 to 10 kilometers for the tuitions, colleges. Because after
Hmm.
COVID, everyone wanted their child to go on a personal vehicle, not on a public transportation, but number one, which is safe in speed, number two, which is
Hmm.
affordable. So hence
Hmm.
we created those products. Then
Hmm.
the application came that there are people in tier 3, tier 4 and downward who comes to the towns for their daily wages and application. So they need a longer range but the simplicity of charging at their house. So that is when we created S60 and S60 beta, which offers 100 to 140 kilometer range.
Hmm.
After all this, we found this fleet market to be there,
Of
which
course.
are end connected to the delivery people out there. They also need product in which, number one, your total cost of ownership is low. That is, the total cost of ownership is not only dependent on the charging infrastructure or the battery swapping, but also the wear and tear, because we see a lot of wear and tear with these riders.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that amount of wear and tear should be less eventually. The amount of spare parts should be less so that the vehicle eventually becomes affordable for the fleets and the end riders. So
Hmm.
hence, if you see the design of the vehicle drive, it is so sturdy. The chassis is sturdy, as well as we have a whole 16 pipe mounted on the whole body, which protects it from any wear and tear. Even if your vehicle falls, a direct impact will not be on the plastic parts. Number one, because we understand that the plastic panels are the most expensive one here.
Hmm.
Number two, it uses very less plastic panels, eventually reducing the BOM cost of the vehicles. Number three, you'll see a lot of cargo space. There is a good space at the back and a good footboard in the front. So
Hmm.
economically, it can carry better. It has a better loading capacity in one go, reducing your cost of one delivery, I would say. So an easy handling and a product in which you can use it in the morning for delivery, and with an additional seat you can use it for your family in the evening. So that is a dual range product, and it has a very comfortable battery swapping, or you can say detachable battery system. It has an auto diagnosis meter which shows whatever your troubleshoot is there in your vehicle. Suppose your motor is not working, that will indicate on your meter. So these are all the
Hmm.
products with which we launched this product drive, that reduces the total cost of ownership of the fleets, give them comfort, and of course a stylish vehicle to drive in. And for the brands out there, you have a platform where you can do your advertisement on the go
Of
with
course.
your
Of course.
logo on it.
That's no. While while you were speaking, I can clearly see the mechanical engineer behind the same, explaining each and everything. That's
So this
really great.
mechanical engineer has become now the product developer and the salesman also.
That's really good. I mean, that's the evolution part. That's you have to evolve in something, no? So yeah,
Correct.
that's really great. And as you clearly, rightly mentioned that COVID changed the perception, the thought process, and the overall living style. Like, of
Correct.
course, after COVID, it becomes very important that people should, they started going through their own personal vehicle. They don't want to they don't want to use some sort of public transport. They want to have their own personal space to be
Correct.
safe. Yeah, of course that has declined, but that was the initial thought. And of course, as you mentioned, the product range you have from so for a segment whose commute is just 5 to 10 kilometers daily, or for people who have a commute of 20-30 kilometers, and then coming up with a product which is good for the logistic market, which is like a different kind of economy which is growing in the last couple of years, which we have seen. That's really great, and it shows that the company is actually thinking about developing not just a product, but a ecosystem in total. That's really great. Um, if I'm not wrong, you guys also offer the financing option. So is it to the end user or to the dealer distributions? Can you
We,
take us through it?
yes, we have both the options. For dealer distribution, we are working in inventory funding kind of model. We are tied up with many financial institutions and startups who help my dealer rotate their stock through inventory funding with good interest rates. We are able to provide them. And for the end user also, we have many financing options, digital form as well as paper form. We are tied up with people like Clever Pay, where we are promoting 5% interest rate only per annum for our high speed scooters. That is the best in class offer that we
Of
can.
course.
We are also working with multiple banks and NBFCs to provide no cost EMIs to the customer coming up in the with the festive
Okay.
season. So we are tied up with many NBFCs, private institutions, and banks for the retail financing as well.
Hmm. That's I mean, that's really good. I mean, having option to finance a vehicle at a 5% interest rate is, it's really nice. You need to promote it, and you need to make it visible everywhere,
You will
because
see
this is
people
going to create a
everywhere.
lot of buzz. So when we talk about electric vehicles, it's either a very simple product with a motor, battery, and a controller, or it's a tech-heavy platform. So there is no in between. Either it's a very simple platform, very simple product, or a tech-heavy platform. So in the recent time, have you caught any kind of innovation which you like? Okay, this is really nice. Something which you came across and you feel like, okay, this is actually nice, and this is really good for the industry.
uh, when we talk about tech heavy platform or a very simple scooter, I would say I would rather say it in this way, whether it's a smart mobility or a simple product with essential features. When we talk about the true Bharat, which I'm talking about, they need the essential products. I've still heard people saying, "Ki, I don't need GPS in my city for this scooter." But yes, there is the upcoming market which needs this tech savvy platform. What
Of
we
course.
need to really work on, and what has caught my eyes, is how we are working to gather data of that usage or our components usage to improvise the service of the scooter, how
Mhm.
we are making it can enabled and gathering the data in terms of usage, in terms of the current variations, in terms of failures, and eventually that will lead to more flexibility and more ease of service. Today in BS6 we see it's an electronic engine, we usually say that term, and it has auto diagnostic features, which is an amazing invention. I think going down the line, we'll be able to achieve the same with the electric vehicles also, where with
Of
just an
course.
app and you say a tool, which we would name XYZ, we'll be able to solve the problems.
Mhm.
So this tech-savvy platform, I would say, to the end consumer, apart from what we're giving to the end consumer, it's very important for the manufacturers to make the your company and your product service oriented, because industry is new, products are new, everyone has tested the products over 1 lakh or 3 lakh kilometers. It has not gone through variations when we said it's 2G, 3G, 4G.
Mhm.
Correct. So that will take time, and the technology, the data is what will help you gather this information and make your products and components even better.
That's really, and that's really, truly, you really articulated in the right way, because I was speaking to one of our industry expert, and we were talking about this, how EV manufacturers are not a vehicle manufacturers, they are basically database companies. They gather data, and on the basis of data the entire ecosystem is going to get enhanced, and it is the all ecosystem, the entire ecosystem is standing on the data which will be coming from the EV, not just from charging infrastructure point of view, not just from the battery, longevity point of view, but also from the infrastructure of the roads. If the roads are not good, that will impact on the vehicle, and that
Correct.
also kind of a data which vehicle will collect, and that is going to change the entire game, infrastructure game, roads and transport and everything.
Correct.
uh, Electric vehicle is not something which is limited to India or China or certain countries. It is a global phenomenon. I mean, Norway is about to achieve the 100% electrification in
Correct.
the mobility. As a Indian EV manufacturer, do you see there is some sort of a difference between India as a market, or some of your counterpart around the globe, maybe in China, maybe in USA? Is there any kind of a specific challenges which India is facing and not those countries are facing, or any kind of a benefit which India have which they might not have?
Okay. So I would say, okay, till now, India has never been an early adapter of any technology. We just replicate what has been successful in the other countries. But we are very fortunate to live in an era and in the generation where we Indians have become the early adapters of the technology. We just moved from BS4 to BS6 very quickly, and BS6 to electrification is moving very rapidly. Had it been the
Hmm.
older times, I would say we would have not achieved it what we have done till now itself.
Hmm.
So, being an early adapter, yes, there are a lot of policies and support for R&D which has not been consistent,
Mhm.
and the perks of which are being enjoyed by the other companies, I would say, and hence they were able to move to electrification quicker.
Mhm.
But I believe the rate at which the government is working, we'll be able to see a consistency in this policy soon. But I still believe we do have a lack in terms of some support, whether it's in monetary form or guidance or incubations for the R&D of the vehicles.
Mhm.
Because countries like China get huge amount of funds for the setups and the R&Ds, and hence
Mhm.
they're able to grow at a faster pace. But in India, if it's a loss of a businessman today,
Of course.
and hence people are a bit hesitant to get into a good infrastructure, I would say. In India today, see, infrastructure depends on what you are making in India. Trading can never grow your GDP, but today we find trading a better business than actually creating something here. So I would say if we get if we get support in that terms, India will be able to achieve the goal of electrification at a much faster rate. And in terms of policies, I won't say the policies are wrong or right. It just has to be consistent. That's all.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, see, we every month we get a sales data. We are
Correct.
getting a lot of numbers. Numbers are doing great, but at the end of the day, 90% of those numbers are from the delivery ecosystem, logistic kind of a business. The
Yes.
adoption of personal vehicle is still at a very early stage. I mean, if we remove the top four, like top four, top five from the list, I mean, the other manufacturers, I don't think they have been able to connect with the audience in that way. Of course, yeah, top five have a different kind of a benefit and support what they have, a deep pocket, whatever. But in terms of a vehicle as a owner, as a personal vehicle ownership, electric vehicles has a, still have a very long way to go. What
Correct.
what I feel like the best thing which this logistic business has done, that it has made the electric vehicles visible on the road every time. I mean, if I go to Gurgaon, if I take a, if I'll, take a cab or whatever, if I from the Huda city center, if I switch the metro and I'm on road, everywhere I see electric vehicles, be it for Zomato, for delivery, or a three-wheeler, a four-wheeler. I'm seeing a lot of electric vehicles, and of course, in this way, this kind of a logistic business, electric vehicles are doing some sort of a visual marketing. Maybe tomorrow, if I am planning to buy a vehicle, I will that will hit in my mind. Okay, I should go for electric vehicle. So
Correct.
yeah, that we are at that particular stage, I would like to say.
Correct.
Coming back to your journey, can you let us know what are the challenges that you face? I mean, uh, as you mentioned, as I can understand, you are like tech person, mechanical engineer, with you have explained. So, and then coming to a business, starting a business, and doing the marketing, developing those kind of strategies. I mean, those kind of strategies which you just let us know about the Shagunka registration and the name of the week, that cannot come from a marketing agency, because they don't have those kind of a connectivity or connection with the brand or the product which you are building. That has to be you and your team only. So what were the challenges in that particular journey?
So, Ankit, in a nascent stage at a business, we face challenges every day, and
Of
we
course.
just should know how to pivot and take the right step at the right time. You just not sit there and think about something which could not happen, and instead take the pivot and move on and move with the new strategy, I would say. So there are a lot of challenges we have faced. Number one is being at a young age. People did not take me very seriously initially, but now I've gained huge respect in the industry, and people are very supportive out there, I would say. And then building a team. I always say in every interview or a podcast, I always say the first of the teams you do not choose, they choose you, because they
Of
need to
course.
have that kind of trust in you, that you are going to build something, and they are going to bet their livelihood on your and your company's performance. So the efforts which you are doing, you need equal efforts for your team, from your team, that they are standing out there to implement those things, whatever the strategy you have planned. So that is some challenge, initial team building, every startup and even I have faced. Then we started when the government policies started changing actually. Every 3 months we used to hear a new regulation. Adapting
Of
to
course.
that quickly and again coming back to market was again a big challenge for us.
Of course.
So there have been multiple challenges we are facing on a daily basis, and just you're moving on with
I
a good
think the
strategy.
market and the policies are now a little bit more stable than what they used to be last year.
Yes.
So, if someone, I mean, electric vehicles, they are not just, it's not a business point of view. Not just people, the students who are in the engineering college or maybe MBA colleges, they are also looking at this particular market because it is growing at a very rapid rate and it is creating a lot of opportunities as well, job opportunities, business opportunities as well. For someone who is as of now in the maybe the second year or third year for mechanical engineering or electrical engineering like me, what kind of a suggestion you would like to give to them if they are looking at this market? They are thinking, okay, after my engineering, I might venture into the EV industry. What kind of a suggestion you would like to give to them?
For every industry, I give the same suggestion. Hands-on learning is very important. This is something I did personally. I don't think I have even spared a day of my vacation sitting alone. I just found something, maybe some internships, some projects from my first year of college, and just where I did my hands on different things. I remember doing designing, then going into quality assurance, then going into R&D. So I just kept on doing something and I gathered my learning from there. So similar suggestion to all the people out there, this industry is new, you won't get anything written in any of the books.
Of course.
Just try exploring wherever you get a chance. And I would say we at our stage are also giving this opportunity to people. We definitely invite interns in any field to work with us, learn with us. Even in my production and quality, I hire interns from maybe ITI, train them and then give them permanent full-time jobs. So it's very important to have a hands-on in the industry, because everywhere you learn something or the other, and that is where you have to improvise and bring your expertise in it. So
That's
there's no
really
set of written rules or technology today, because
of
we
course.
are all at a very nascent stage and we all are developing. So just
Of course.
learn along the flow.
And before ending this particular session, just a quick quote I would like to take you. I mean, as a EV manufacturer, if I have to ask you what you would like, what you are expecting from Fame 3, if anything particular you would like to have in that particular Fame 3. Because last time I spoke to another manufacturer, and she told me that the Fame 3 need to be more practical than ever, more more practical than Fame 2 or Fame 1. What you would like to see in Fame 3?
I would just like to say, if we have made certain process, they need to be very transparent and worked out before rolling out. There should be no confusions at the end of the day, because a huge amount of the OEM is involved in this. Technically, we are giving that fame amount to the customers, and
Of
we
course.
wait for government to reimburse us back, and then they cut up some cases or change the policies. So that's a huge risk for us as well. If
Hmm.
government really wants us to transfer the benefits, actually it should be more in a practical way and not just put all the burden on the OEM side, because nothing has been done to release that burden. You see, no banks are supporting without 3 years healthy balance sheets, etc. No one takes it as a startup, as a new technology.
Of
So
course.
when on the one hand we're not getting any relaxation in terms of financing or funding. On the other hand, if the government is putting us role in the loop and not giving us any relaxation, then it's very difficult for us to enroll in that scheme as a whole. I hear many manufacturers today saying even if Fame 3 comes, they are not as interested as people were in Fame 2 and Fame 1, seeing the all
Of course.
things.
Of
So
course.
that has to, again, correct, it has to be more practical.
It has to be more practical. So, thank you, Pragya. This was a very nice conversation, very informative from a EV manufacturer point of view to getting to understand and how you are looking at the market and how you are bringing the new products. What's the journey behind those products, the thought and process and the inception. This is really great. I mean, at the end of the day, only those companies will survive in the market who really understand the need of the market. It's not like they are just okay. If it's a window for us and we should jump into it, that is not going to stay for a long. And Vegh is one of those companies who thinks in that way. That is really nice, and I would love to see more and more products from your end in the market.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
It was really nice interacting with you.